Alright, so honestly, I think I have a ghost in my house. Hello my little piggies. Thanks for checking back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, my name is Anjelique. So, for today's video, I'm going to be doing a little spooky ghost story video. Now, all of these stories come from my friends and a few close family members. So, without further ado, let's roll right on into the video. Alrighty, you guys. So this first story comes from my friend Alana. She sent me a bunch of stories that she has encountered from ghosts and spirits, and honestly, they're just like really creepy to me. So, let's read the first one. So Alana says, so in my dining room, we have a fancy cabinet thing, and when it's plugged in and touched on the side, lights will go on it. So like if you touch a certain part with your hand, the lights will go on and off, and the brightness levels can change too. But this is only if one little part is touched, and only if it's plugged in. So it was like a month after my grandpa passed away, and the lights in the cabinet would just randomly go on and off, and the brightness would change. But no one was in the room or near the cabinet. This kept happening even in the middle of the night, and we eventually were just like, let's just unplug this thing. So we did, but the lights kept going on and off. That one's kind of spooky, and honestly it sounds like her grandmother was there, you know, trying to reach out and be like, hey, I'm here. But still, like, the fact that the cabinet lights would turn on and off even after it was unplugged is really unsettling to me. The next story is also from Alana. I think she gave me like a total of 3 stories, which thank you, Alana, girl. Yes. But here is the next story. Another thing is that there's always a bunch of random noises in my house that we always figured was just the pipes or something. So they make really loud, kind of quiet pop sounds, and it sounds like clicking and knocking. But one day we had to turn everything off because something had broken and needed to be repaired. But the popping and knocking sounds continued. This next thing is from a while ago, but it was the day before school was starting and I was up late because I couldn't sleep. But I had my window open, but the actual glass thing closed. So I was just staring at nothing in the dark because this was back when I didn't have electronics. But all of a sudden, I saw this green handprint press onto the glass from outside, and I was horrified. I don't know if she's experiencing sleep paralysis or what, but I could not imagine looking out my window and seeing a green hand pressed. No, thank you. This one comes from one of my old friends. I asked on Instagram, I asked like, you know, the little question polls. I was like, if you have any ghost stories and you wouldn't mind telling me them, let me know and I'll put you in my new video. She requested to change her name and remain anonymous, so I respect that wish, but anyways, here is her creepy ghost story. So I was like 10 and I was sleeping on the floor in my sister's room. When I woke up, of course, I stretched and everything, but when I opened my eyes, there was this white figure standing in front of me. As soon as I saw it, I immediately covered my head, because I was hella scared. And when I went to check if it was there again, it was gone. I also saw it again when I was sleeping in the living room, and it was sitting on the couch, staring outside the window, like a little I covered myself again. And when I checked to see if it was there, it was gone. But when I checked where I was sitting, there was an indent, like if someone was actually sitting there right beside me. No thank you. Thank you next, as Ariana Grande would say, because no. That story honestly like creeps me out. I don't know why, for some reason I'm thinking of like La Llorona, like she's just like looking, I don't know, it just reminds me of La Llorona because like just the white figure. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below if you think it was a spirit, you know, whether it was a loved one, or if it was something with evil intentions. This next one is from my friend Maddie. I miss you, Maddie. If you're seeing this, I miss you so much. But this is her story, and it's pretty creepy. So Maddie lived on the same street as I did. It was only like a 2-minute walk, literally a 2-minute walk. And she would always tell me that freaky things would happen at her house. Also, I will be changing her sister's name as she requested. Okay, So Mary was sitting on the bed and we had a mirror on the wall, and in the mirror she saw her blanket get lifted, and when she looked over it, it fell. Then her hat fell off the chair another time. Then one time my mom felt something hit the bed and she said, "Mary, what are you doing?" in a joking voice. Then after a little bit she got no answer. And so she went to look and nothing was there. She went downstairs and was like, "Were any of you upstairs?" And we told her that we weren't. Then my mom was sleeping and she hates the fan blowing in her face. So she turned it off and went back to sleep. Then she felt the fan again on her face. So she looked up and it was facing towards her again. Another time in the kitchen, we put up curtains because someone was washing dishes and saw someone in the reflection behind them. And then a shadow walked down the basement stairs. Maddie told me that a lot of freaky things happen at that house and I cannot imagine living there. I think because Maddie moved to a different state and her oldest sister still lives in the house, I could not imagine like the paranormal experiences her sister's going through right now. So, oh my goodness, I just can't imagine. This next story is one of my personal stories. It's not anything too crazy. I'm saving the best one for last, but this one is just my personal story. Alright, so honestly, I think I have a ghost in my house. One day, my sister, I think she was going to town, and she had misplaced her keys. Now, there's this little section in our kitchen. The kitchen is right here, right? And then to the left, there's this little cupboard, like little space where you can put your keys and stuff. That's where we put all of our fine china and everything. And we have little bowls, and that's where she likes to put her keys. She was getting ready to go to town, and she was like, "I can't find my keys." And I was like, "Well, did you look in the little bowl by the cabinet?" She was like, "It's not there." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She was looking and looking and looking, could not find them at all. She looked everywhere. She looked in all her hiding spots. She looked in her room, in her bags, in that cupboard where she usually keeps her keys. Nothing was there. 2 weeks go by, and she finds her keys in the kitchen to the left, in that little cupboard where the bowls are. And I don't know, like, just a lot of things go missing, and it's freaky. Like, literally, my glasses have been missing for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and I had, like, I'm so mad, I can't even stop. Ghost, if you're watching this, please return my glasses, because I'm blind. I literally have been putting on my contacts for the past 2 weeks just so I can see. When I wake up and, like, I go upstairs, I'm like, because I can't see anything, and I'm like, ah! But that's practically it. Like, things will go missing, and it's just weird. And then, like, they pop up, and they're right where you left them, and it's like, I literally looked there, like, it's weird. Also, one time, my dog, like, I sleep in the basement. Me and my sister sleep downstairs in the basement, and, my dog sleeps down here with me too. She has her own little bed. It's so cute. But she either sleeps in her bed or on my bed. And she always follows me, like, always. She never leaves my side, and she's always right beside me. One day, I was going down the stairs, and I noticed that she didn't want to go down there with me. And I was like, "Piper, what's wrong?" And she just, like, was not having it at all. She was, like, barking and everything, and, like, the little hairs on her back were, like, raised. And I was like, "Girl, what is wrong?" And she refused to go in the basement with me that whole day. And I was like, "What's going on?" Or, like, even sometimes, because we have a garage, and to the garage door there's an entrance from the kitchen and then stairs that lead you into the garage. She will stand at the foot of the steps and just bark at the garage door, and it's weird. And I know you guys might be like, "Oh, she just might want to go outside." When she wants to go outside, she'll sit by the door and then, like, jump on it. That means she wants to go outside. But no, she was, like, barking. Like, she was mad. Like, she saw something and she was like, "Get out of here." I don't know. Do you guys think animals can see stuff? Personally, I do. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Now, as I said before, I saved the best for last. This story comes from my brother Raymond, and his wife, Carol. I should clarify before I start reading this. This story is from his wife's point of view, Carol. We lived from 2007 to 2011. We lived with my mother and brother in 2009. The house always seemed a bit creepy to begin with. My son Isaiah, who was 8 at the time, would always like being downstairs at the bottom of the stairs. I would hear him whispering and giggling and talking to someone. When I asked him who he was talking to, he said, "My friend Jonathan." I was like, oh, okay, because who doesn't have imaginary friends at 8 years old? Well, come to find out, he was more than just an imaginary friend. Apparently, he used to live there and had been killed in the house. Well, what do you do when your son has a ghost friend? It's not like you can tell him to go home because technically that is his home. Well, I knew something was there to begin with. It was just a feeling. So, as long as Jonathan wasn't telling my son to murder us or trying to take his soul, why not let them be friends? One weekend, when I had the kids for the weekend and my stepdaughters were there, we were all in the living room watching a movie. I went to the kitchen to get drinks and popcorn, and I felt someone looking at me from the top of the stairs. I turn around, and sure enough, there's a young boy, who I at the time thought was my son. As quickly as I saw him, he quickly disappeared just the same way. So I ran to the steps and looked. There was no one. No one was there. So I go to the living room, and everyone was in the same spot as when I left. I told them, okay guys, you're not funny. I'm not gonna get scared. Who was it? Was it Isaiah or Anthony? And everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I explained what happened, and sure enough, no one left the living room. I, of course, asked my mom, who I knew wouldn't lie, and she said, honestly, no one was in there. I knew it was Jonathan, but just needed confirmation that I wasn't going crazy. After that, little glimpses of him from time to time would show up. Doors or cupboards would open when we knew they were just closed. But we eventually moved from that house, and luckily, Jonathan didn't follow us. I cannot imagine. It feels like my brother Raymond has always had ghost experiences. If you guys have any ghost stories, I would love to hear them, so please comment down below. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to your girl if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Subscribe this YouTube channel!